Good morning. Our today's topic is LCD interface. LCD, or we will call it as liquid crystal diode, or we can call it as liquid crystal display. Okay, that is LCD. Here today we will see how we will interface this LCD with our 8051 microcontroller. How we will interface this LCD with our 8051 microcontroller. LCD and all, I think you all know that. LCD means it's a thin, flat panel display device for electronically displaying informations such as text, images, and some moving pictures also we can display. So nowadays, widely these computer monitors, television screens, and all are using these LCD devices for displaying these images and videos. And there are different varieties of LCDs are there. Mainly two types of LCDs are there. One is alphanumeric LCD, which is used to display alphabets and numeric values. And other one is graphical or customized LCD. We will call it as customized LCD for displaying some pictures and all. Okay, and there are different formats of LCDs are available. 16 by 1, 16 by 2, 20 by 4. These are the different formats. 60 by 1 means we can display 16 character in a row. Okay, and 16 by 2 means we can display, that means 2 lines display. Each line we can display 16 characters. And next one, 20 by 4. So it is 4-line display, we can say 4-line display, and each line we can display 20 characters. Okay, so these are the various formats available in our alphanumerical LCDs. Okay, and here it is a 60 by 2 LCD, and also these are the pins that is available in an LCD, present in an LCD. There are 16 pins are there. Okay, in an LCD, 16 pins are there. This VSS, VCC, and VE. These pins are actually connected to a potentiometer. Okay, here VSS is used to connect the ground pin, and VCC for power supply, and VE. Actually, this VE is used to adjust the brightness by using these potentiometers. Okay, and another pin is called RS, or register select pin. Okay, register select pin. Here in an LCD, it has 2 internal registers. One is, we will call it as a command register, another one is data register. Okay, so to select these registers, we use these RS pin. Okay, for selecting these registers. Okay, so to select the registers, so to select the command register, we will set this RS pin is equal to RS is equal to, okay, for selecting command registers. Okay, and to select the data register, what we will do, we will do RS, we will set RS is equal to 1. Okay, so these are the 2 registers, the LCDs. Okay, then another pin is RW pin. Okay, this one, RW pin. This RW pin for reading and writing, we will use these pins. Okay, so to read data, we will set this RW pin is equal to 1. RW is equal to 1 for reading a data. Okay, so to write the data, what we will do? We will just set that RW pin is equal to 0. Okay, so that is the use of this RW pin. Okay, then 8 what we will call as data pins are there. Data pin for giving data to the display. There are 8 pins are there: DB0, DB0, DB1, DB2, DB3, DB4, DB5, and DB6. Total 8 pins are there. Okay, so these are then remaining 2 pins are the 15 and 16. These are used for backlight. So 15th pin, this is LCD should connect it to VCC, and 16th pin is connected to the ground. Okay, so these are the pin diagrams. Pin present in our 16:2 LCD display. Okay, ground. VSS connected to ground, VCC connected to power supply, VEE for adjusting the brightness, RS for selecting the register. There are 2 registers are there. What are they? Yeah, command and data register. Okay, for selecting command and data register, we will set the corresponding value to that registers. And RW pin for reading and writing data to the LCD. Okay, enable, one more pin is there, enable pin, which is used to, actually this is used to starting the LCD. For starting selecting the IC, we will use, or enabling that, we will use this enable pin. Okay, we need to, for performing that operation, we need to send a high to low pulse. High to low pulse means first we need to send the data, set that E pin is equal to 1. Then after a particular delay, we have to send the E is equal to 0. That means high to low. Okay, that is, I forgot to tell you that enable pin is also there. Then 8 data pins are there for display, for giving information to the LCD. We will use this for characters and command data. We will use these data pins. Okay, then remaining 2 pins are used to connect the backlight, related to backlight, connected to VCC and connected to ground. Okay, then in order to work or display something to the LCD, we need to send some commands to the LCD. Okay, so these are some of the commands that are used in our LCD displays. Here 0F, and one more command is 0F, actually, which is used to what we will call blinking the cursor. Blinking the cursor. നിങ്ങൾ LCD on ആക്കുമ്പോൾ just കാണുന്നില്ല, blink ചെയ്തിട്ടൊക്കെ നിൽക്കുന്നു, switch on ചെയ്തിട്ട്. So for that we can use the command 0F. Okay, then 1 എന്ന് പറയുന്ന command which is used to clear the screen clear ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് we will use the command 1. Then 2, which is used to return home page return ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് നമ്മുടെ command, we will use the command 2. 4 for decrement the cursor, and 6 increment the cursors. E means the command E means we will display on and cursor on. So okay, for that it will use the command E. Then 80 command, which is used to force cursors to begin to the first line position ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് LCD command ആണ് 80 എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. ഡിസ്പ്ലേയിൽ ഫസ്റ്റ് ലൈനിലോട്ട് പൊസിഷൻ ചെയ്യാം. Then another command is C0, but it forces the cursor to beginning of second line. Okay, then 38 is the 38 use 2 lines, and so 38 means 2 lines select ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് we will use this command 38. Then 83 is the 83 means cursor line 1 position 3. So in order to set the cursor in line 1 position 3, we can use the command 83. Okay, then 3C, which is used to activate the second line in the LCD. Okay, then C3, jump to the second line position 3. Okay, cursor will position the third position in the second line. For that we will use the command C3, and C1 jump to the second line positions. Okay, so these are all some of the commands that are used in our LCD display. You just remember that. Okay, So this is the diagrammatic representation of our LCD interfacing with the 8051 microcontroller. Okay, so in our 8051 microcontroller, different ports are there. Okay, so we need to connect the LCD pin to our port for making interface. Okay, so this is the potentiometer. Okay, this one, it is connected to our VCC, VEE and VSS. We already discussed that. What is VEE? VCC, VEE and VSS. Okay, then RS pin, register select pin, it is connected to the port 2, 0th pin of our microcontroller, and RW pin, read write pin, which is connected to where port 2 and first pin. Okay, port 2 lo pin, it will connected to RW. Okay, then enable pin is connected to P2.2. Okay, port 2, 2th pin, second pin, connected. So these are the connections. Then our data pins, these D0 to D7, these all pins are connected to port 1. Okay, port 1 from P10 to P17. Okay, all the pins are connected to these ports. So this is the interfacing diagram of our LCD and the 8051 microcontroller. LCD is here. All the pins are, these pins are connected to potentiometer. Okay, VCC power, VEE for adjusting the brightness, VSS ground, then E enable pin connected to P2.2, RW read write pin, then P2.1, then RS pin P2.0, then the data pins in the LCDs are connected to the port 1 in the 8051 microcontroller. Port 1 P10 to P17. Okay. So now we need to program it. How to display something to the LCD. Okay. So for programming the LCD, we need to remember these 3 steps. Okay. First step, we need to remember the initialization of LCD. Okay, initialization of LCD. Then second one, sending command to LCD. How we will send the commands to LCD. Then how we will write the data to the LCD. These 3 steps we need to study. How to initialize an LCD, how to send the command to the LCD, and how to write the data to the LCD. Okay. So first we can discuss how to initialize an LCD. Okay. Suppose if you are switching on, ഒരു LCD നിങ്ങൾ സ്വിച്ച് ഓൺ ചെയ്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ എന്താ ആദ്യം സംഭവിക്കുക? ആരെങ്കിലും ഒരാൾ പറഞ്ഞു തരുമോ? എന്തൊക്കെ കാര്യങ്ങൾ നടക്കുന്നുണ്ട്? ജസ്റ്റ് നിങ്ങളുടെ ടെലിവിഷൻ സ്വിച്ച് ഓൺ ചെയ്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ എന്താ സംഭവിക്കുക? LCD TV ഉണ്ട്. ഡൊമിനിക്, ജസ്റ്റ് നിങ്ങളുടെ ഐഡിയയിൽ ഒന്ന് പറഞ്ഞതാ. ഒരു LCD സ്വിച്ച് ഓൺ ചെയ്ത് എന്താ സംഭവിക്കുക ആദ്യം? ഡൊമിനിക് പ്രസന്റ്? പറഞ്ഞു. LCD ഡിസ്പ്ലേ കണ്ടിട്ടില്ലേ? എന്തൊക്കെയാണ് നിങ്ങളുടെ അനുഭവത്തിൽ എന്തൊക്കെയാണ് കാണുന്നത്?
ലൈറ്റ് ഉണ്ടാവും.
ബ്ലിങ്ക് ചെയ്ത് എല്ലാം ഒന്ന് ക്ലിയർ ആയതിനു ശേഷം ഫസ്റ്റ് പൊസിഷനിൽ അവിടെ കഴ്സർ സെറ്റ് ആവും അല്ലേ? അതല്ലേ സംഭവിക്കുക നിങ്ങൾ ഓൺ ആക്കി കഴിഞ്ഞു. Okay, then how to perform that operations? Okay, so we need to write some program for that. Okay, so that is what the initialization. Okay, that is what initialize. Okay, so for that initialization, to initialize LCD to the 8051 microcontroller, we need to send these commands. Okay, first one is 38. Okay, 38 means used to select 2 rows. We already discussed that different commands we are using in our LCDs. So first command, we need to select the rows where we have to display something. Okay, so first we need to select. So for that we can send the command 32. Okay, first we need to send the command, then only we can send the data to display. That is the procedure. First, okay, we need to send some command. Okay, so these are the commands. First 38 for selecting 2 lines. Okay, then another one is 0E. What was the use of 0E? cursor on and display on. Both cursor and display on our mandate, we will use 0E command. Okay, then after switch on the LCD, we need to clear all the things. Okay, for clearing that, we will use the command 01. Okay, for clearing the display, we need to send the command 01. Then after clearing that, we need to set the cursor position in the first line. Okay, we need to set that cursor position in the first line. So for that, we can send the command 80. Okay, so these are the command for our initialization process. Just to remember that. Okay, first 38. Okay, then for selecting the pin, okay, used for 8-bit data initialization, then 0E for display on and cursor on, blinking and cursor on, blinking for 0F1. Okay, then 01 for clearing the display, then 80. After clearing that, we need to position. We need to position in the first position. Okay, first position, first line position. We can send the command 80. Okay. Then after initialization, we can send the commands. Okay, then only we can, okay, in order to display something to the LCD, first we need to send some command for display. Then we have to send the data. So how we will send the command? That is what the things. These are the steps. Okay, first what we have to do, we have to place the command on the port. Which port we are using? There are in our microcontroller, for interfacing, we have seen that different ports we are using. Okay, different ports are connected to our LCD. Okay, so first for sending command, we had to place that command to the particular port. Which port we have used for setting the command, we had to place that command to the particular port. After that, okay, for sending commands, I already told you that for sending command, we need a register select pin. Okay, because there are two registers are in our microcontroller. Sorry, LCDs, command register and data registers. For sending command, we need to select the command register. So for selecting command register, we need to set the RS register selector pin. RS is equal to 0. Okay, RS is equal to 0. So that is the next step. We need to make RS is equal to 0. Then, so this is a writing operation. So what we have to do? So we need to set RW is equal to 0. RW is equal to 0. Then after that, we need to enable the pin. Okay, so how to enable? I told you that. Okay, how to enable? First, we had to send a high to low pulse. Okay, we need to send a high to low pulse. How we will send the high to low pulse? First, we had to make enable pin is equal to 1. Then after a particular delay, we can set it is equal to 0. So this is the procedure to send the high to low pulse. Okay, so these are the steps for sending commands to the LCD. First, we need to place the command to the particular port. Then we need to select the register. We need to select the register. For command register, we can set RS is equal to 0. Then for writing, we can set RWS is equal to 0. Then we need the enable pin. Okay, to be high to low. That means first we need to set E is equal to 1. Then we need to set that E is equal to 0. So that is a procedure. Okay. Then after sending the command, we can send the data. Okay, so how we will send the data? Data means whatever the things we need to display, we need to send those data to the LCD. Okay, so these are the procedure to send the data. Okay, so what we have to do? First, we have to place the data on a particular port. Which port we have to place that data? We just to place the data to the corresponding port. Then next we need to select the data register corresponding to the LCD. For selecting the data registers, we need to set the RS pin is equal to 1. Okay, RS pin is equal to 1. Then for displaying data means it's a write operations. Okay, so we have to set RW pin is equal to 0. Okay, that we already discussed. So RWS pin is equal to 0. Then we need to send a high to low pulse to the enable pin. So for that, first we can set E is equal to 1. Then E is equal to 0. Okay, so these are the procedures. Okay, just remember these steps. Okay, for 3 steps are the initialization, sending command, and writing LCD. For initialization, you just remember these commands: 38 selected, 0E person blinking, then 01 clear, then 80 for positioning the cursor in the first line. Then sending command. So we need to set the RS register is equal to 0, then RW is equal to 0, then make enable pin E is equal to 1, then E is equal to 0. Similar to for writing, the difference is we need to select the register selector pin is equal to 1 for selecting the data type. Okay, then RW is equal to 0, then E is equal to 1 to 0. We need to send the high to low pulse. So now we can write the program. Okay, so this is an example. This is embedded C program, 8051 C program. We send the letter E and C to the LCD display. Okay, how we will send the letter E and C to the LCD display? So these are the codes. So first, for embedded C program, what are all the things? First, we need to include one file, reg51, okay, .h, because we are performing 8051 microcontroller programs. Okay, so for that we need to include the header file. Okay, hash include reg51.h. Okay, then we need to set all the pins. Okay, we need to set all the pins. So here 90x means it represents port 1, because in our microcontroller, data pins are connected to port 1 in our 8051 microcontroller. So okay, so data pins corresponding SFR. SFR you already studied. These are the different data types, S bit and SFR data types. Okay, നമ്മൾ ഓൾറെഡി പഠിച്ചല്ലേ ഡിഫറെന്റ് എംബെഡഡ് സിയുടെ ഡാറ്റ ടൈപ്സ്. ഓക്കെ, അപ്പോൾ അതിൽ ആദ്യം തന്നെ പോർട്ട് 1 നമ്മൾ എൽ ഡാറ്റ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ് റെപ്രസെന്റ് ചെയ്തു. ദെൻ RS, എസ് ബിറ്റ് RS പോർട്ട് 2.0 എന്തായിരുന്നല്ലേ, 2.0 ആയിരുന്നു RS. Okay, 2.0, then RW 2.1, then enable pin port 2.2. Okay, RW 2.1. For embedded C, we need to use this symbol. Okay, instead of 2.1, we have to write this symbol. Okay, then enable pin P 2.2. Okay, so register selector, read or write pin, LCD enable pins. So our declaration and initialization is over. Then in this program, we are using 3 functions. First, we need to send commands, then we need to send the data. And also, while sending these commands and data, we will use some delay. Okay, so for that, we need to write a delay functions. Okay, ഇത് ഓർമ്മയുണ്ടോ നിങ്ങൾക്ക്? ഈ ഡിലേ ഇതെങ്ങനെയാണ് വർക്ക് ചെയ്യുക? ആർക്കും ഓർമ്മയുണ്ടോ? ഹൗ ടു ഇതെങ്ങനെയായിരുന്നു ഡിലേ വർക്ക് ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടിരുന്നത്? എനിബഡി? ഡിലേ അഷ്ന എനിക്ക് ഓർമ്മയുണ്ടോ ഈ ഡിലേയുടെ പ്രൊസീജിയർ? അഷ്ന എൻവി? ഓക്കെ സാർ, ഡിലേ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഒന്നുമില്ല, ജസ്റ്റ് ഒരു ടൈം ഡിലേ ജനറേറ്റ് ചെയ്യാം. This 4i is equal to 0, I less than count i plus plus എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ that much time our LCD ഐഡിയൽ ആയിട്ട് ആ ഓപ്പറേഷൻ ഇങ്ങനെ പെർഫോം ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടേയിരിക്കും. സോ ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് ഡിലേ അല്ലേ. ഫോർ ജനറേറ്റിംഗ് 1 second ഡിലേ, ഓക്കെ, വി ക്യാൻ യൂസ് ദ വാല്യൂ 1275. ഓർമ്മയുണ്ടായിരുന്നില്ലേ? ഓക്കെ, സോ ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് delay generation process. Okay, so these are the 3 functions used for our program. Okay, so our aim is to send the E and C, 2 characters E and C to the LCD display. So we already studied one procedure. First, we need to initialize the command, sorry, LCD. Then for initialization, we have to send some commands. Okay. After sending that commands only, we can send the data. Okay. So these are the commands for our initialization. So inside the word main, we can send the command. So LCD, CMD, first we need to send the 38 for selecting 2 lines. Okay. Then after a particular delay, we need to send the what? Next 0E. 0E means what? 0E already we discussed. What is 0E? This is the procedure. Okay, 0E. No, 0E. 0E for display on and cursor on. Okay, display on and cursor on. Okay, so then 0E. Then we need to send the another command 01. Okay, 01. Then 01 means what is the use of that 01? 01 we will clear the screen. Our initialization process. We need to clear the screen. For that, we have to send the command 01. Then after a particular delay means 250-second delay, we are sending another command 06. Here 06 means 06 means what? 6. Increment the cursor increment ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ട്. Then we will send another command 86. 86 means 80 means it will position the first positions. Okay, 18 എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ line 1 ന്റെ first position സെറ്റ് ചെയ്യാനല്ലേ. 86 means it will set it to 6th positions. Cursor സെറ്റ് ചെയ്ത് അവിടെ നിൽക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. So that is the initialization process. LCD. First, we need to send these commands. Okay, for initialization process. Okay. Then, while sending these commands, what are all the operations? Then we need to make RW pin is equal to 0. Then enable pin from high to low. Okay, from high to low. That means first we need to set E is equal to 1. Then we need to set E is equal to 0. Okay. So this will be the procedure for our command. Okay. First, what we have done, whatever the command that is received here, we placed that into the corresponding port. Here IDATA means it is representing the port 190. Okay, so place the value to the corresponding port. Okay, after that what we have to do? For sending command, we need to select the register, command register. For selecting the command register, we need to set RS pin is equal to 0. Okay, so that is what I have written here. RS is equal to 0. Then RW is equal to 0. RW is equal to 0 because it is the write operations. Okay. Then after that, what we have to do? We need to make enable pin high. Then a particular delay, we need to set it to low. So that is what I have written. First, E set E is equal to 1. Then delay. Okay. Delay, 1 delay. Then we are setting that E is equal to 0. Okay, E is equal to 0. Return. So this is the procedure for sending commands. Okay, this is the procedure for sending command. First, we need to place the command to the corresponding register port. That is, here it is port 1. So that is why I have used here 90. Then for command, we have to set that RS pin is equal to 0. And that's the writing operation. So we need to set RW is equal to 0. Then enable pin from high to low. Okay, so that's all about the command. Then after the initialization process, we can send the data. Okay, what are all the data we need to send? Here in our question, 2 data, E and C. These are the 2 data. commands. Okay, so first we can send the data E, then after a particular delay, we can send the data C. Okay, so delay means it will call the corresponding function delay. So the delay generation we already discussed that. Okay, so this is for this method is for sending data. Okay, E and C. So this is the procedure. This is a subprogram for corresponding data. So that means sending data. So for sending data, what are the procedures? For sending data, first we need to place the data on the port. Then we need to select the register selector pin. Here we need to select the data register. Okay. So for that we need to set RS pin is equal to 1. Then display means we are writing something to the LCD. Okay, so set RW pin is equal to 0. Then we have to make enable pin is initially it is equal to 1. Then make it that means low to high. We need to set it as low to high. That means first we need to set E is equal to 1. Then E is equal to 0. So this is the procedure for that. So we are placing the whatever the value data that is received here is placed to the data. That means port 1. Then for selecting the data register, set to the RS pin is equal to 1. Then this is a display operation. Set RW is equal to 0. Then make a high to low. Enable pin. Initially set that is equal to 1. Then after a delay, set that is equal to 0. So this is a procedure for sending data. So while executing this function, whenever you call LCD data, it will send E to here. Okay, then it will start executing this procedure. Okay, procedure execute that corresponding E in the display. Then after a particular delay, it will call the same procedure with another data C. That means in the C in the display. Okay, so this is the program to send letter E and C to our LCD display. Okay, this is the program. Okay, so what are all the procedures? One we can discuss. These are the 3 steps. 1, initialization of LCD. Then we need to send the commands. Then we need to write data to the LCD. Okay, these are the procedures. Okay, so for initialization, there are 4 commands are there. Okay, first we need to send the command 38 to the corresponding port. Then we need to send 0E. 0E means we need to make our LCD switch on and cursor on. For that, we have to send we need to send the command 0E. Then after switch on the LCD, we need to clear the display. So for clearing that display, we can send the command 0, 1. 0, 1. And for selecting the first line in the cursor, we have to send the command 80. Okay, 80 is the command which is used to select the cursor in its first line. Okay, so these are the commands for initialization. Then next we need to, before sending any data, we need to send some commands. Okay, we need to send the commands. Okay, so these are the procedure for sending commands. First, we need to place the command on the corresponding port. Which port we are using, we need to send that command to that port. Then we have to select the register selector pin. For command operation, we need to set it is equal to 0. So it is write operation. RW is also set it is equal to 0. Then make enable pin from high to low. That means E is equal to 1 to 0. Okay. Then write the data. That means first we have to place the data on the port. Then we need to select the register selector pin. RS is equal to 1. Then RW is equal to, because we are displaying something, that means we are writing something to the screen. So RW pin is equal to 0. Then enable pin from high to low. That means E is equal to 1. Then after a particular delay, set it is equal to 0. Okay. So this is the example. Then one more program we can discuss. here write an 8051C program to send a message hello to the LCD display. Okay, so without using delay. So no need to use delay in our program. In question, it has specified that without using delay, we need to send a message hello to the where our LCD display. Okay, so for that, what we have to do? എന്തൊക്കെ ചെയ്യണം പറഞ്ഞേ? എന്തൊക്കെയാണ് ചെയ്യേണ്ടത്? ഫസ്റ്റ് initialization, then we need to send the commands. Okay, then we need to send the data. So initialization we already discussed that. എന്തൊക്കെ ചെയ്യണം initialization എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ ഒരാള്? ഓ, initialization എന്തൊക്കെയാണ് കമാൻഡ്സുകൾ? എനിബഡി? What are all the commands? So പറഞ്ഞതേ ഉള്ളൂ. വിഷ്ണു? പറഞ്ഞോളൂ. നമ്മളെന്താ LCD ഓൺ ആകുമ്പോൾ സംഭവിക്കുന്ന കാര്യങ്ങൾ കമാൻഡിലൂടെ പറഞ്ഞോളൂ. ആദ്യം എന്താണ് സെലക്ട് ചെയ്യണല്ലോ അല്ലേ? കേൾക്കുന്നില്ലേ വിഷ്ണു? പറഞ്ഞോളൂ എന്തൊക്കെ. അപ്പൊ അതിന്റെ കമാൻഡ് ഏതായിരുന്നു? ഓർമ്മയില്ലേ? പ്രൊസീജിയർ ഓർമ്മയില്ലേ? കാണുന്നുണ്ടോ? പറഞ്ഞ ഓരോന്ന് എന്തൊക്കെയാണ് ഇവിടെ ഉള്ളത്? എന്തൊക്കെ കമാൻഡുകളാണ്? 0x38 it is a hexadecimal value 38H. ഇതിനെ നമ്മള് 8051 മൈക്രോ കൺട്രോളർ പ്രോഗ്രാമിൽ ഈ രീതിയിലാണ് റെപ്രസെന്റ് ചെയ്യുക കേട്ടോ. 38 എന്ന് പറയുന്ന വാല്യൂ നമ്മൾ സെൻഡ് ചെയ്യണം ആദ്യം. പിന്നെ ഡിസ്പ്ലേ ഓൺ ആക്കാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് എന്ത് ചെയ്യണം? 0E സെൻഡ് ചെയ്യണം അല്ലേ? ക്ലിയർ ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് എന്താ ചെയ്തത്? 01 സെൻഡ് ചെയ്യാം. ക്ലിയർ ചെയ്ത് ഡിസ്പ്ലേ ക്ലിയർ. ദെൻ നമുക്ക് അതിനെ പൊസിഷൻ സെറ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് ഫസ്റ്റ് പൊസിഷനിലാണെങ്കിൽ 80 കൊടുത്താൽ മതി. ദെൻ ഫസ്റ്റ് ലൈനിന്റെ സെക്കൻഡ് കഴ്സർ സെക്കൻഡ് പൊസിഷനിലേക്ക് സെറ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ 81, സിക്സ്ത് പൊസിഷനിലാണെങ്കിൽ 86, ആ രീതിയിൽ കൊടുത്താൽ മതി കേട്ടോ. ദെൻ ഇനീഷ്യലൈസേഷൻ ഈ കമന്റുകൾ ആദ്യം സെൻഡ് ചെയ്യണം. ഓക്കെ, so this is our program. So first we need to send all these commands. Okay, LCD command 38 0E 01 06 86. Then after sending this command, എന്താ ആക്ച്വലി സംഭവിക്കുക? ഈ കമാൻഡ് സെൻഡ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ എന്താ സംഭവിക്കുന്നത്? ഇവിടെയുള്ള കമാൻഡ് ഓപ്പറേഷൻ ആണ് നടക്കുക അല്ലെ? ഈ ഒരു ഫംഗ്ഷൻ ആണ് നടക്കുക. അപ്പൊ ഇതെന്താ ഫംഗ്ഷൻ നടക്കുന്നത്? കമാൻഡിനെ ആദ്യം നമ്മുടെ പോർട്ടിലോട്ട് പ്ലേസ് ചെയ്യും. L data എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ 90 എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. ദാറ്റ് മീൻസ് അവർ പോർട്ട് 1. ഓക്കെ, പോർട്ട് 1 പ്ലേസ് ചെയ്യും. ദെൻ കമാൻഡ് ആയതുകൊണ്ട് we need to set RS is equal to 0. Then write operation ആണ്, so RW is equal to 0. Then enable pin we need to pass a high to low pulse. That means initially E is equal to 1. Then after a delay we have to send it is equal to 0. So this is the command operation. അപ്പോൾ ഓരോ കമാൻഡുകൾ ഇവിടേക്ക് സെൻഡ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോഴും ഈ ഓപ്പറേഷൻസ് ഇങ്ങനെ നടക്കും. ഓക്കെ, then after sending those commands we can send the data. ഓക്കെ, കമാൻഡ് സെൻഡ് ചെയ്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ നമുക്ക് ഡാറ്റ സെൻഡ് ചെയ്യാം. എന്താ ഡാറ്റ സെൻഡ് ചെയ്യേണ്ടത്? hello, HELLO. Okay, so first for that we can send the command data H send ചെയ്യും. അപ്പോൾ H സെൻഡ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ എന്ത് ചെയ്യും? corresponding procedure will execute. ഓക്കെ, ആ ഡാറ്റയെ ആ കറസ്പോണ്ടിങ് പോർട്ടിലോട്ട് സെറ്റ് ചെയ്യും. ദെൻ രജിസ്റ്റർ സെലക്ട്. ഹിയർ ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് ഡാറ്റ ഓപ്പറേഷൻ, സോ വി നീഡ് ടു സെലക്ട് ദ ഡാറ്റ രജിസ്റ്റർ. സോ ഫോർ ദാറ്റ് RS is equal to 1. ദെൻ RW 0 because it is a write operations അല്ലേ? ഡാറ്റ ഡിസ്പ്ലേ ചെയ്യാന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ഒരു റൈറ്റ് ഓപ്പറേഷൻസ് അല്ലേ? സോ RW is equal to 0. ദെൻ enable pin high to low ആയിട്ട് സെറ്റ് ചെയ്യും. അപ്പോൾ H സെൻഡ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ ഈ പ്രൊസീജിയർ നടക്കും. H ഔട്ട്പുട്ടിൽ ഡിസ്പ്ലേ ചെയ്യും അല്ലേ? ദെൻ ആഫ്റ്റർ E സെൻഡ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോഴും ഈ പ്രൊസീജിയർ വിൽ എക്സിക്യൂട്ട്, ഈ ഔട്ട്പുട്ടിൽ ഡിസ്പ്ലേ ചെയ്യും. ദെൻ L സെൻഡ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോഴും സെയിം പ്രൊസീജിയർ എക്സിക്യൂട്ട് ചെയ്യും, L ഔട്ട്പുട്ടിൽ ഡിസ്പ്ലേ ചെയ്യും. ദെൻ രണ്ടാമത്തെ എൽ സെൻഡ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോഴും സെയിം പ്രൊസീജിയർ വിൽ ഡിസ്പ്ലേ ആൻഡ് ദെൻ ദാറ്റ് എൽ വിൽ അഗെയിൻ ഡിസ്പ്ലേ ചെയ്യും. ഫൈനലി ഓ ചെയ്യുമ്പോഴും ഓയും ഡിസ്പ്ലേ ചെയ്യും. ഓക്കെ, ദെൻ സപ്പോസ് ഇഫ് യു വാണ്ട് ടു ഡിസ്പ്ലേ യുവർ നെയിം, അപ്പോൾ എന്താ ചെയ്യേണ്ടത്? നിങ്ങൾ ഇതൊക്കെ അതേപോലെ എഴുതുക അല്ലേ. ഇവിടെ നിങ്ങളുടെ പേര് ഓരോന്നായിട്ട് സെൻഡ് ചെയ്ത് കൊടുത്താൽ എന്തായിരിക്കും, അതുപോലെ കറസ്പോണ്ടിങ് ഇവിടേക്ക് ഡിസ്പ്ലേ ചെയ്യും. Okay, so this is a procedure for sending hello to our LCD without using delay. Suppose they are asking you to write the same program by using delay, then നിങ്ങൾ എന്ത് ചെയ്യും? ഇവിടെ എല്ലാം ഡിലേ കൊടുക്കും. ആ കറസ്പോണ്ടിങ് പ്രൊസീജിയേഴ്സ്, ഡിലേ പ്രൊസീജിയേഴ്സ് ഇൻവോക്ക് ചെയ്യും. ഓക്കെ, ഇതാണ് ഇന്റർഫേസിംഗ് ഓഫ് 8051 മൈക്രോ കൺട്രോളർ വിത്ത് LCD. ഓക്കെ, ഇനി നമുക്ക് പഠിക്കാനുള്ളതാണ്